Hey everyone, so today I'm going to run you through a full berth beach rest and how to use this particular motorhome. There's not much to it. We'll start by covering the outside features. So it depends on your model. Some models have a pull-out step, some models have an electric step. This one's got an electric step. Once we step inside, I'll show you how to use that one. Here's your toilet. To open up your toilet, you need one of these keys here. You push this in here. We need to rotate that. Push this, and that releases that. This is your flush over here. This is your flush water. So you want to fill this with a bit of water and the pink rinse, which is available at most retail stores. Super Cheap, RV Supercenter, Burnsco, and so on. Your toilet. This is how you pull out your toilet. So you want to lift this handle up here and you just want to pull this out, and you want to take it to an authorized dump station and dump it over there. This top part will not release if the toilet inside the motorhome is not closed. So that's something to watch out. When we go inside, I'll explain that. And this is your flush level gauge. Okay, so when done with that, you can either leave that open or leave that locked. This is your hot water heater. So what I normally recommend is when you switch on your gas and when you switch it on in the interior, just move your hand slowly up and down here. You can feel if there's hot air coming out, and you'll know that way if it's on or off. Sometimes if the wind is too high, it'll blow the flame out. In that scenario, you just turn the motorhome around. This is your storage area, again accessed by one of these keys. You can mark these keys using a bit of tape. It'll make life a little bit easier. So there's that one there. So you just push this one here, push this one here. Sometimes you've got to push it twice. That just lifts up. And you have access to the large storage area underneath here. Normally your grey water hose and your fresh water hose is kept over there. So we'll go ahead and shut that. Below the cabinet is your fresh water filler. This is where your cap is. It won't open normally. You need to take the right key, push it in there, and then just turn it like so. So basically that key just releases the lock. And then similarly, you need the key in there, turn it, lock it, and then just pull the key out, and that'll be locked. So that's how you do that. So now moving on to this side, this is just the other storage area. And again, just push each one of these locks, and you push both those locks at the same time, and that gives you access to the same storage area over this side. This is where your gas bottle is. So you access your gas bottle with this key here. Turn it like so. We'll open it now because I'm going to go inside and show you how to light the gas hob and the water heater. So just open that. You always want to keep this closed while driving, and if you're away from the motorhome, always keep the gas bottle closed. This is where you dump your grey water. So again, using that same key, that's where your grey water hose is located. Some of them come with the hose attached to it already. So you just pull it out, pull this out, put it in the proper dump station, and then all you do is just twist, turn this and just pull it. That'll instantly release it. Some other models will actually have a separate valve here where you connect the hose up. This one's a bit different. Now moving on to this compartment here, use that same key. So this one key opens all of these on this side. This is where you fill your AdBlue over there. I'll do a separate video on how to fill AdBlue on a VW motorhome or VW van. Link will be in the description. With the AdBlue, you only have to worry about it usually at every service, and there's an indicator on the dashboard. These are your gas shut-off valves. So make sure they're open at the moment in this position. If they're in that position there, that means they're closed off. One is for the gas hot water heater, one is for the gas hob. This is where you plug into 240 volts with the plug. I'll show you that when we're inside. So that just slots in there like so, and then you hang the wire off here. Okay, so we'll step inside. Before we step inside, I will quickly just show you on these VWs, it's quite hard to reach the top there. So this here is actually a step. So this is a step here. You can stand here and you can wash the windscreen. That way outside now, I might as well just show you. You have to open the door, and here you can access your fuel filler flap, and that's where you fill diesel. So remember, it's diesel only on these campervans or motorhomes. Over here is where your set of tools are. So you can either use a coin or a key. All you do is just turn this, turn that like so, and then you want to grab this and gently pull that. That reveals the jack and the tools. Remember, you can only do the front wheels on this. I'll show you what the spare wheel is, and you only have a spare wheel for the front two wheels. This is the little AdBlue tool that you use to open up the cap that I just showed you outside. Again, I'll make a separate video on that, so you can get an idea on how to do that. But if you want to just watch this video, that's how you do it. Take that and put in the cap. Before I forget, this is the awning. So here's your awning as well on the outside. You basically, to use it, you want to open this one here, open this one here like so. You don't have to remove it, just keep it loose, and then that clamp over there and that clamp over there, you use the tool, use the awning pole, and you just push those off. I'll show you that as well, how to do that. But in case you're wondering, this is where the spare tire is located, just underneath there. You just undo those two wing nuts, and then you can drop that cage and pull the spare tire. It's not an easy job, so I would recommend getting roadside assistance if you do get a flat tire on the front, because remember, you can only replace the front tire. And when you're done with the tools, if you ever do need it, slot it in there like so, and just push it and turn that. That locks that there. Normally the gold keys are the ones for the doors. Now that step I spoke about, the button for it is here if you've got an electric model. Just push that button and the step comes out. Always keep the step switch on so that you can use it. If you're parking at the motorhome for a few months, then you can turn it off. But it's got a special feature where if you turn on the ignition, accidentally it'll pull the step in. But if you have a manual step, make sure you manually push the step in it every time before driving off. Okay, so now since we turned on the gas bottle, we'll cover all the gas appliances. Normally, if you're not used the motorhome for some time, this is what I recommend. Before turning on your gas heater, turn on your stove ignition, and then come to the stove over here, and we'll light the stove. So I'll explain how to do that now. So in order to light the stove, there's a special little safety feature over here. This has to get warm before you can release this knob. So what we want to do is turn this, hold it in, and light it. And we want to hold this knob in till that little insulator gets warm. Then we can release it. So I'll do that again. So by doing it this way, you eliminate any possibility of having air in the line, and you also establish that you got gas in the bottle as well. So that's how you light the stoves. Same with the grill. So I'll just do another one for demonstration purposes. Turn, push the ignition, hold for about 8 to 10 seconds, then release it. That's just a safety feature in case the wind comes and blows off the gas and blows out the flame. It'll basically not allow gas to fill up in the motorhome. It's a little safety feature. While we're here, we might as well cover, this is the gas extractor fan. So you just push this for your lights and your fan. That'll work through that switch I initially showed you. When this is warm, you do not want to close this. Always leave this open. Let this all cool off, and only when it's cool, then you shut this glass top panel. So now that we established that we got gas working fine, turn on the water heater. The red light will come on. When it goes off, you'll hear a click that normally indicates it's the gas heater switched on. Don't know if you heard that, it's trying to light. Like I said, if you're not done this on some time, it'll run through its procedure a couple of times until it lights, because there might be air in the line. If for some reason that light is trying to light again, and there you go, we'll go outside. And you can hear the flame on. If for some reason, say you put that on and it doesn't light, and the red light just comes on after a couple of minutes and it stays on, turn this water heater switch off and leave it off for 2 to 3 minutes. Run through the procedure what I showed you earlier with the gas, just like that. Then come back and then turn this on. It should turn on then. If it doesn't, then it's probably the wind that's blowing it off, like I showed you earlier. So just turn the camper around or check your gas bottle. Okay, so that's fairly straightforward. Make sure you turn this water pump switch on as well whenever you turn this gas heater on. It's very important. Lights, it's quite straightforward. Turn the light switch on and that basically activates your lights here. So this one controls this top one, and this bottom one controls the middle lights. The rear lights are controlled through this switch here, and your bathroom light switch is over here. And you've got an independent switch up there as well. So that covers all the lights. The reading lights are independent. So those are independently controlled. When you're not using the lights, make sure you turn them off. You don't need them on. Whenever you have the water heater on, always leave the water pump on so that those two stay on. You can turn off the stove ignition if you're not using it. TV is straightforward. Turn the TV switch on. You normally have the remote here. So the TV will that TV switch will turn on the radio over here and your TV. This TV pulls out like so. It's on a pull-out bracket. And normally if you're in a city like Auckland or similar, the antenna at the top will pick up a little bit of reception, but realistically this is just a DVD and USB TV. Go to a place that so you saw it did pick up a little bit of reception, but as soon as you leave a city area or if you go into a bad reception area, you won't pick up any TV unless you put a satellite at the top. When you're done with this, make sure you tuck this TV in. There's a mount over there, so just push it in there and secure it. Radio self-explanatory, I don't really have to explain it. Turn it on, use the USB or similar, so that's straightforward. Plenty of storage on this camper. You can check out my review video if you want to. To access the top Luton area, the ladder's over here. Just literally pull it. There's 2 clips there, one at the bottom. Make sure when you're not using it or when you're driving to make sure that ladder is clipped in there and clipped in there well. Those roof vents, there's one here and there's 2 there. Always make sure to keep them closed on a windy day. I mean, realistically, we don't really open it unless really we need to and we're in the camper, because you've got plenty of windows on this particular model, so you can just open the windows just to be safe, because sometimes if the wind catches the roof vent in the wrong direction, it'll blow it off, so be a little bit careful on that. Make sure when you're traveling that all these knobs are pushed in and all the cupboards are locked. Create a little checklist so you can run through and just check all of that off. Water pump, as long as that's on, your water tap will work. If you hear the pump running like that and it doesn't switch off, open this tap and let all the air come out. Microwave will only work when you're plugged into 240 volts. Similarly with all the electrical points, they'll only work when you're plugged into 240 volts. Fridge works on 12 volts. So to put on the fridge, just turn that on. And you can open it this way. And it gives you access to a fridge. This is a new modern fridge, so you can turn it off independently here. And you can change the settings over here just by pushing the button. So you've got your fridge and your freezer box over there. Now it's quite important after a camping trip, when you come here and you turn your fridge off after running it for a couple of days or so, don't shut the fridge straight away. What you want to do is open it and turn this knob to vent, and that just holds it open a little bit when it's parked up. It just allows the fridge to breathe and prevents any moisture from building up in the fridge and damaging your seals and internal of the fridge on all the internals. Keep that closed. Blinds are fairly straightforward, they just roll the blinds. Here for these roof vents, you've got a block out. So this is a fly screen, and you've got a block out on this side. So you've got the choice of both. And finally, for the table at the front here, the pole is located over here, just in this cupboard. This is the awning pole, by the way. We will go outside after, then I'll show you how to use that. So when you grab that pole, just pop it in here. Pop that in there like so. And your table is located over here. Underneath there. So all you do is literally just pull this table out. It's a bit hard to do it one-handed, but you get the idea. Just pull the table out, take it to the front, swivel those seats, which I'll show you how to do, and you've got your little lounge area at the front. The last thing that I have to cover is the tank monitors over here. Push that to see what your fresh water is and your grey water. So grey water is empty at the moment, fresh is halfway full, but we're on a slope at the moment, so that might be a bit inaccurate. This is your voltmeter, so anything if it's 13 and above is good, so that means the solar is working well, because we got nice sunshine on at the moment. So if it drops to anything below the green line, below 12, you want to either plug it in to power, or you want to start the vehicle, otherwise you'll run out of power. Normally I like to recommend turning off all unnecessary things when you're not using it. Water heater can stay on, and the water pump can stay on as long as you're in the motorhome. This is your diesel heater. All you literally do is just turn this knob, turn it about there, and just leave it, let it do its thing. It'll take a couple of minutes, it'll run through its cycle, and then it'll start to heat. So the vent for that diesel heater is over there, and there's one more there in the bathroom. Extremely good heater to use in winter. Your fire extinguisher is just located over there. Take note of that and always make sure you're aware of where it is. The seats to swivel it, what you want to do is you want to pull this forward like so. When you pull the seat forward, then you just turn this knob and then you rotate the seat like so, and that just turns around, and this becomes your little lounge area. We'll get rid of this pole. And when you're finished with the lounge area here, and when you want to drive, all you literally do is just turn the seat, make sure it clicks and locks into place, and that's about it, and then you can start driving. Normally your vehicle manual will be located over there, so if you have any questions or anything you want to know about this area here, just refer to that manual over there. It covers everything. This is your main kill switch for your house battery over here, or your secondary battery, and here you have a little cigarette lighter socket where you can charge devices and stuff from there. Your house battery is located here underneath the seat. That's your RCD switches, so it's on at the moment, and these are your fuses if you ever need it, and that's your solar charge controller. And this is your battery charger over here, which is on at the moment. So that's where all that is if you need it. Seat belts are here. Make sure you always, when you have passengers on board, to have them strapped in at all times. And then I will just move to the front, and I'll just quickly run you through the basics on the front. So the ignition key is put over here. When you push it once, it basically activates ACC. You can use the radio. You can use the radio as well without the key in place. So if I take the key off and push that, it allows you to run it for a couple of hours. Be careful of this, it will draw power from your start battery, so you can always use the radio at the back there. Now, few things to mention. There's one cigarette lighter socket over here at the bottom. This one's a permanent power, so if you plug something in here and leave it plugged in, it will draw power from your battery, which is located here. So your start battery is located underneath this area here, so be careful of that. You can use this cigarette lighter socket over here. It's a switch type socket, so it's a bit safer. And you've got some couple of cup holders over here. If you're wondering what that is, that's just a paper clip holder. So your light switch is over here, and this adjusts your beam angle for the front. So when you want to start it in the mornings, what you do is put that on. If you heard that, that's basically the ignition. That's basically the step going in automatically. Make sure you're on neutral. If, for example, I'll just put it here, something like that, if you're there, the vehicle won't start. So always make sure you're on neutral. So always remember to put your foot on the brake and then start it, and while the vehicle's in neutral. These are your blowers here, so just push that to activate your blowers. That's your AC switch, and this is your defogger. Apart from that, everything else should be easy to understand. This is just a defogger for the top. These are your, when you put it to this mode, it's for the vents over here. This means for your feet, and this is both up and down, just for the vents. This is to lock the doors, so just push that once and that locks the doors on either side. Push it again to open the doors. So this only opens your front cabin doors. You still have to manually lock that rear door in the house area. That's about everything on this motorhome. We'll just quickly go outside and I'll show you how to open those locks in the awning, and that will cover everything. And this is the lead I was referring to. This is where it plugs into. This part here plugs into the camper. This plug goes into your campsite. If you want to plug it at home, you'll need a converter plug. So we've had this diesel heater running for some time, and it's pretty warm in here now. So when you're ready to turn it off, just turn that knob to the off position and let it do its thing. It'll run through its cycle and it'll cool off. It'll take a couple of minutes, then it'll switch off automatically. And that heater is still running. If you notice, the water will be quite warm now. Normally it takes about 30 to 40 minutes depending on your external temperature. So we'll go ahead and turn this off, and we'll turn the water pump off. One thing I forgot to mention is the toilet, which I referred to earlier. See how it's closed at the moment? If it's open like so, that cassette will not release, so always make sure to close it. Close it while driving and close it while not using it. It's always a good habit. This flush will work just by pushing it. It's an automatic push button flush. So you normally want to have the toilet switch on, or the water pump switch on, depending on what model you're in. Close that and shut that off. Your sink just drops down. Just pull it and it drops down. If you have a little water here, don't worry. When you tip it up there, there's a little drain there. It drains it off. And this is adjustable. So this just goes up and down. So you can pull this down here when you're using the sink, and then put it back up there when you're using the shower. The shower head is also adjustable. So you just pull this or push this. At the moment it's on a tap mode. When you want to go shower mode, just pull this like so. See how it's come out? And when you're finished, and when you use the tap, just push it in like so. And your main controller's over there. And you got a roof vent here as well. Like I said earlier, just make sure you close that. Don't leave it open when you don't need it. The handbrake on this model, because the seats swivel, when you pull the handbrake up, you can basically, as long as it's activated, don't touch this front button here. All you do is just push this down and it'll fold down. It's a special type of folding handbrake, so the seat can swivel and the handbrake won't block it. When you're finished with the seat, and when you put it back to the forward position, lift it up like so, then push, and so lift it up, push the button and then release it. That'll release the handbrake. But as long as you don't touch that front button, you can push it down. Just make sure you always put this handbrake up well. It's quite important. If you're unsure, just refer to the manual in there. And so this is the awning pole. So with these tabs unscrewed, just like so, you want to do it on both sides. And then you can stick this in here and then just pull the awning out gently. And then when you're pushing it in, use this awning pole and secure it and assist it back in. Sometimes if it's not aligned like so, you just want to grab this here and just gently pull it. Just give it a little pull and then do that at the same time. And when you're done, make sure to secure these tabs. Tighten that. And tighten this one here as well. So that covers this whole motorhome. I hope that answers all the questions. And if you have any doubts, just refer to the quick reference guide and that VW manual like I mentioned earlier. Apart from that, it's self-explanatory. Like I said, make a checklist. When you're finished with everything, make sure all this is off apart from the step that can stay on. And do not leave the gas bottle on, which I'm going to go now and close. Always make sure you close it before driving. And always secure everything. Make sure you don't forget anything outside or underneath the camper. Thanks for watching, everyone. See ya.